All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are completely deconstructing the incredible story of a guy named Arjun. And we're doing this to extract the real mechanical steps of building massive success from absolute zero. Look, we've all heard those classic rags to riches stories, right? But what we're going to do today is look at the specific blueprint. I'm talking about the actual actions, the mindset, and those daily choices that actually make a transformation like that possible.
So Arjun's foundation was built on a very simple but insanely powerful philosophy passed down from his dad. Life is difficult, but never stop learning. Growing up in a small village, Arjun's family literally had almost nothing. His dad was a laborer, his mom worked around the clock as a seamstress. But instead of anchoring their son with money, which they obviously just didn't have, they anchored him with hope. His mom instilled this deep belief that even though they lacked riches, they absolutely had a future. And his dad? He instilled this relentless respect for education and continuous learning.
Because of this, growing up, Arjun basically lived a stark double life. Externally, he was facing a pretty brutal reality. We're talking a tiny, rundown old house, worn-out clothes, and literally torn books. And unfortunately, that's the kind of visible reality that invites some really cruel mockery. The bullies at his school judged him entirely by what they saw on the outside, laughing at him, basically telling him he was never going to amount to anything. But internally, it was a totally different story. Inside, he carried a priceless dream, immense hope, and just this unwavering drive to change his family's life. He fundamentally knew that success is not decided by your current circumstances.
Section 1. Choosing hard work. Building success in the shadows.
Now, dreaming is one thing, right? But execution is a whole different ballgame. While other kids his age were out playing or just wasting their evenings, Arjun was quietly putting in the work in the shadows. He actively helped out at the local grocery shop. He delivered newspapers. And when he didn't have the proper lighting or resources at home, he literally studied under the glow of public streetlights, just absorbing information from whatever books he could borrow from the local library. His future wasn't just handed to him on a silver platter. It was built by investing absolutely every single free moment he had into his own improvement.
Section 2. Failure as a classroom. The entrepreneurial reality.
So eventually, Arjun takes his first big leap into business, selling these handmade products online. And man, he immediately hit the brutal reality of entrepreneurship. This is the part that most overnight success stories just completely gloss over. Get this, in his very first week, he got 0 orders, none. Week 2 rolls around, he got exactly 1 order. Over time, things actually got worse, and he ended up losing his hard-earned savings. It is a devastating passage of time to go through. It's painful, it's slow, and it honestly feels like you're going backward. And this right here is exactly the point where most normal people would just quit.
But at this emotional low point, having lost all of his savings, Arjun makes a really profound shift in his perspective. Sitting there silently, he just said to himself, okay, I failed, but maybe failure is teaching me something. He refused to see failure as a final defeat. Instead, he reframed it as raw data for future success. For him, it wasn't a stop sign, it was just a detour.
So instead of just crossing his fingers and hoping things would magically improve, he took immediate proactive steps. He absolutely devoured educational videos. He read every business book he could get his hands on. He practiced entirely new skills. And then he used all of that new knowledge to actively iterate and improve those handmade products. He effectively turned every single mistake and setback into his own personal classroom. And you know what? Eventually, months later, customers slowly began returning.
You see, the eventual breakthrough wasn't some overnight miracle. Success really arrives after hundreds of ordinary, boring days filled with consistent effort. As Arjun's orders finally kept increasing, his tiny little room evolved into a super busy workshop. He actually started hiring workers directly from his own village, and packages began leaving every single day. His employees were literally thanking him for providing jobs. The whole thing was the result of relentless, unglamorous, day-by-day consistency.
Section 3. The true measure of wealth. $1 million. After years of that consistent effort, this was the massive financial payoff for all those nights sitting under the streetlight and all those painful days of 0 orders. Think about it. Arjun is now standing in this modern office of a growing company, awards hanging on the wall, holding a net worth of $1 million. And standing right there beside him are his parents, getting to tell him how incredibly proud they are that he kept his promise and that they always believed in him. But Arjun quickly realized something important. True wealth is actually measured by the lives you help improve, not just by the cash you accumulate. So he pivoted from just making money to taking real action for his community. He started building schools. He donated books. He funded scholarships for kids who were growing up exactly like he did. And he even supported other local businesses. He completely redefined what success actually means, basically proving that, yeah, $1 million in the bank is fantastic, but changing the landscape of your community, that is true wealth.
Section 4. Your story starts today.
Years later, standing on a stage, passing the torch to the next generation of students, Arjun delivered his core message. He said, "Your background does not decide your future. Your daily choices do." He told those students that if you dream big but never actually do the work, well, dreams just stay dreams. If you fail, you learn. If you fall, you stand right back up again. Because at the end of the day, success belongs to those who just keep moving forward. It's such a profound reminder that where you start literally has no bearing on where you can finish, as long as you're willing to put in the work.
And that leaves us with a very clear, actionable blueprint. Dream big, work hard, never give up, start today. Look, every successful person starts somewhere. The road is absolutely going to be difficult. People will for sure doubt you, and failure will definitely slow you down. But consistent effort, patience, and a willingness to learn can completely transform your future if you just try to improve a little bit every single day. The life you dream about, it's built one step at a time.
So, I want you to take a hard look at your own habits, your own time, and your own resilience, and ask yourself, what future are your daily choices building today?